Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. As you guys know, greatly helps the channel, so thank you very much for your support. So, quite the event. The last couple of days with the inauguration, everything went well. Nobody tried to do anything to him this time, so I guess that's a positive, right? A lot of executive orders in the first few hours of the presidency. Actually, I think something like 300 from the ones that I've seen. I guess the U.S. is being restored to a level of common sense, I suppose, to a level of where of normalcy, if you can believe that. Is really that crazy. Like things like, hey, we shouldn't allow millions of people to enter a country with no background of who they are. I mean, what a crazy notion. But, well, I guess that all these things that seem to be normal and made us feel crazy are actually reverting, which is good. You see some optimism in the markets, which is also good. He's tempering some of his positions, which is also normal. I mean, I don't remember any president that did tit for tat exactly what they said they would do. However, the moves I think overall have been in the right direction. So there were two conflicts in the world. One of them is already stopped, and apparently the other one uh, seems to be in the right path to be stopped. Particularly if you look at Zelensky's comments, I guess he's being pushed to reach some sort of agreement with Putin. That's the type of if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go check what he said. Um, I think it's on CNBC or on X, and you'll see the point of what I'm saying. Yeah, but the reality is, why should be the U.S. spending hundreds of billions of dollars for this? I mean, and at this point, is no longer a fight. If you read anything about what's happening, it's really it's really a terrible situation. So I guess yeah, we need to try to make something work in the middle of all of this, right? I mean, you make peace with your enemies, not with your friends. In any case, looking at the markets, which is why you're here, Bitcoin is around $106,800 at the moment of this recording. Ethereum is above 3,300, still poop, obviously, but at least on the green. And yesterday, the World Liberty Financial Group, or the Trump's platform, bought $47 million worth of Bitcoin and $47 million worth of Ethereum and zero of Solana. Now, I'm not against Solana. I wish Solana to do very, very well. What I've noticed about it, and the reason why I made the prediction that I made, that after November 2024, Solana would underperform Ethereum until the end of the cycle, is simply because of several things. Number one, the total excitement in the space. You just had the U.S. president launching a meme coin there, plus his wife, and you have $13 billion of token unlocks. For you to have an idea, that's almost the same as Mt. Gox distributed in Bitcoin to the wallet holders. Just for you to have an idea, it's around the same that FTX is giving up to people around. So I mean, there are some people who say, "Oh, it's priced in." I say, I don't know how you price in a $13 billion dollar, token availability, but we will see. I think bull market lifts all tides, so I think Solana will still do well in dollar terms. I guess if you look at the chart of Sol versus ETH, I get the feeling that Sol will underperform until the end of the cycle. Between the period of November 2024 and the end of the cycle, I think Ethereum will outperform. Now, one of the good things is that my meme coins are actually holding quite well on Ethereum despite the main chain not pumping. Now, if we do repeat 2017, Ethereum should really start to show some signs of life about now, going into end of Feb, and then March would be quite the crazy month for Ethereum. March, April, and potentially getting into May, but at least March and April, if we do repeat 2017. I mean, look, we have a president that launched the meme coin. We have a president who's completely pro-crypto, plus a lot of government agencies. We have Gary Gensler out. We have Trump. We have the president's platform buying crypto on the day of its inauguration. We have potential executive orders coming in the line of Bitcoin. I mean, I've seen people being a bit upset that he hasn't made any executive order about crypto, meaningful one at least. And like, look, he first needs to fix things like the southern border. I mean, first he needs to focus on things like inflation. Then I mean, it would be very odd to me. I mean, it would be great, don't get me wrong, but very odd if his first order would be buy crypto, like, this kind of. I mean, I don't know what people expect, but you know how it is, right? Everybody just cares about very small things. By the way, I wanted to clarify something about the Trump meme coin, etc. I'm not against people getting, and by the way, it was a big Saldo News event on the election day, on the inauguration day, and also the day before. What I mentioned was, look, if you were in a situation like me, in which you wake up, the coin is out for like 10 hours or 8 hours, it already went up like 200-fold. There are people who turned $1 million into hundreds of millions of dollars. And you go all in at like, I don't know, $30 billion market cap. What I said is, to me, that makes very little sense, because there's a lot of potential for me to be caught off guard, basically to serve as exit liquidity to someone else. And even let's say if we go to $100 billion market cap, that's a 3x for me, for a lot of risk. So to me, that doesn't fit the parameters of what I like. But now let's imagine this. Let's imagine that I'm scrolling to Dex Screener at 3 in the morning or 5 in the morning or 6 in the afternoon, whatever. And all of a sudden I see a contract, and I start digging up a little bit of information very, very soon. Say, oh my God, this looks like a Trump family member coin. And it's like at 4 cents or, whatever it is, right? 10 cents, 20 cents, whatever. And I drop, let's say, $1,500. Sure, now it makes sense, because I'm catching it extremely cheap. I'm catching it within the first hour of launch. The likelihood that I'm one of the first to get in is very, very high. But if the coin's already out 10 hours, it's all over Twitter, everybody knows about it, Trump has already posted it on X, I've seen clips of $3 million at once. I'm like, look, that to me is a little bit out of hand. So the answer is, should you, that's up to you to decide. But the question to myself, should I buy Trump-related coins if it's launched by him or his family or whoever is, launching on his behalf? The answer to me, for my personal life, is depends. If the coin is down 90%, maybe, 95%, maybe. A lot of the weekends have been flushed out. Or if the coin just came out, let's say like within 1 hour, or it's still not even tied to him yet, then I suppose yes. But if it is it's already 100 billion market cap, it's been out for 36 hours, there are people here with $1 billion in profit, I mean, then I'm like, it just doesn't work, it's just not worth, for me, the risk. So I hope that this clarifies but once again, this is my position. If you want to go all in Trump coin at the moment, sure. I mean, a lot of people didn't buy Shiba Inu, for example, last cycle, because they thought, oh my God, this already went up 100-fold. It's too late. And guess what? That coin went up 1,000,000-fold. So 100-fold, you still had, how much? You still had 100-fold, you still have 10,000-fold to go. It would have been great, but you need to understand that happened to Shiba Inu. That's one coin. All the others, it didn't. So once again, what I'm trying to say is give a little bit of perspective. It's like if you ask me, Is it good to buy Bitcoin? Let's say Bitcoin is 220K in September 2025. Is it a good idea to buy Bitcoin there? Question, it depends. If you mean in the short run, probably not. If you mean for the next 10 years, probably it's fine. Could you get better prices? Yeah, probably. So maybe wait a little bit, but would not be the worst thing in the world. So what I'm trying to say is it bad to buy Bitcoin? Are you buying it at $10? That's great. It would have been better if you bought at $1. $10 is 10 times worse. But if the coin is going to 1,000,000, it's a great investment. But if you're buying, let's say, at the end of the cycle, with the perspective of selling within 9 months, it's probably a bad decision. If you're trying to buy over 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, probably it's a good decision. Probably you'll go look back in time and the price appreciation was great. So what I'm trying to say here is when you're assessing, when you're sitting and you're making a decision, because I cannot make decisions for you, I can just tell you what to think. You look at a coin. Is this cheap? Is this expensive? How can I give a feeling? Is it been out a lot? Has it just run up 100-fold? How likely it is that it's going to run another 100-fold? That's the things that you need to start thinking in your head. Not just for Trump-related coins, any coin. You need to start to address within yourself, okay, does this make sense? Doesn't this make sense? And there's a little bit of our psychology, which is the more you pass on opportunities, the more Fomo you accumulate until you make a really bad decision, because we're just humans. So, I mean, I would say what I try to do is maybe I like to go a little bit crazy with the lottery ticket in order to quench my desire for FOMO. That's usually what I try to do. But that's me. Once again, I cannot give you financial advice. It's up to you to do whatever you want. So my answer, or my view, not my answer, but my view on is it good to buy Trump coin, is it good to buy Melania coin, depends what's your time horizon and when did you bought it. If you bought it after a 250-fold, probably more often than not, it's not going to go that well. Even if it goes up 4-fold, you need to understand that if your $1,000 are becoming $4,000, that means somebody just made $1 million if they put $1,000, right? Because $1,000 times 250 times 4 is $1 million. So you need to understand that you are up against people who have, who are really on side, and you're trusting a lot that they're not going to dump on your head. Maybe it all works out, but this is going to happen. Particularly, I've said this many times before. The bull market is much harder than the bear market, because the bull market, you'll feel this thing. Oh my God, I'm missing the bull market. Everything is pumping except me. This is terrible. Oh, I need to go after this coin and that coin and the other. Oh, I just got rug pulled. Oh, now I need to compensate for my loss with something else. And after a while, you end up finding out and saying, if I just didn't do anything, I would have done very, very well. And now I've lost all my money. These stories happen so often. There's a thing called coin fashions, which is, confessions, but coin fashion. Just read what some people write. It's amazing. It's one after the other, the same story. I built my bags over 2 years. I was ready to go, but then they didn't pump immediately, but then the other thing was pumping. So I chased, and I chased with leverage. Then I got liquidated. Then I chased another thing and I lost half my money again. And then I saw my initial coins pumping 50-fold, and I was sitting with nothing, with less than my initial investment. And if I didn't do anything, I would probably gain enough money to cover 20 years of expenses, something like this. And yeah, it is sad because it tricks your mind. It messes with your most basic instincts. So understand that those feelings will come. Those feelings are normal. We have a lot of things on paper that look to be in our favor. The cycle has not broken and has not dramatically changed. Is this a guarantee for the future? No. Everything is likelihood and probabilities. Your assessment depends on those. But before you fall prey your urge of FOMOing, think before. I mean, what I do is I try and think before. Am I really FOMOing here? Does it make sense? Am I risking a lot for a potential 3 or 4x, etc., etc., etc.? And with that, guys, I hope that this is clear. I hope this helps in some way. Don't forget, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.